What is going on, all you Pokemon collecting maniacs out there? This is Ryan, the PikiPikaPapa, and here we are, as we do on every Sunday, with a list of the biggest movers and shakers on TCG Player over the last week, and I love this list. I think it's fantastic. TCG Player is the one who sends this information out. They raise their hand and they say, listen, everybody, y'all need to be paying attention to these cards because these things are hot on our website. And you know, hey, whenever TCG Player, eBay, anytime a source like that will give us a look behind the curtains and let us know what's going on their website, I think it's super valuable because these are the biggest platforms for buying and selling Pokemon cards, and if you want to keep your finger on the pulse of what's going on at the macro level, I think these are the best places to get the information from. So the thing I love about this list, as I say every single week, is the diversity. I think I'm guilty of it. A lot of us are guilty of it. We can kind of get tunnel vision in terms of what's going on or what's hot in the YouTube space right now. And this list that comes out every week helps reground me. It helps let me know that there are many other things beyond prismatic evolutions, beyond Surging Sparks, although there's a couple Surging Sparks cards on here, that are moving in the Pokemon space, and that's important, right? When you think about investing and when you think about trying to, maximize your Poké dollars for future gains, you kind of want to be looking where everybody else isn't. So with that out of the way, this is a ton of fun. We do it every Sunday. If you find value in this video and you want to see more, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you like what you see, give us a thumbs up, and if you got questions or comments, drop them down below. So with that out of the way, as I said, there's a couple Surging Sparks cards on here. So why don't we just get one out of the way right off the bat? And this is the Exeggutor. Now, I actually like this card. I actually appreciate the fact that this is up. Surging Sparks obviously has come out red hot, and I think I'm one of the ones out there who's saying, okay, I'm approaching it with a little trepidation. Let's give it some more time. Let's see where everything kind of ends up maybe 6 months from now, because this set is really hot. But this card right here, now these gold cards, these are some of the hardest pulls. These are actually harder to pull from a pull rate perspective than the special illustration rares. And this came out at a sub $15 card. I mean, this was in the $13, $14 range, and Exeggutor's got a whole lot of really awesome cards in the Scarlet and Violet era, and so this popped off over the last week or so. It popped up to $24. It's come back down to $21, but I mean, when you think about it, if Surging Sparks is going to be one of the bigger sets in the Scarlet and Violet era, and if these cards truly are, hard to pull, then I could see this being a $20 card in the long run. Now, I will say, gold cards, as we all know, they don't have the best track record of performance, and they certainly don't have the best track record of holding on to price gains. So I will say this, rarity is one thing, but demand is really what matters, right? Like, there's always supply and demand, and they have to kind of equalize each other out. And I think that, the supply might be lower on this, but we'll just have to wait and see what the demand is in the long run. But I am not offended by the price spike on this like I have been by some of the crazy price spikes we have seen as of late. So really cool card to kick off with, and a card, again, that might be flying under the radar for a lot of us. Now, the next card that's on this list is a card I've talked about a lot on this channel, not necessarily because I felt like it was undervalued, but my youngest daughter is a huge Squirtle fan, and I have been saying for over a period of time, like, I am eventually going to buy this for her. Well, I finally did pull the trigger, and I pulled the trigger a couple weeks ago, so I got it in the $40 range, which was really cool. And this card has spiked. It's up, up to $51, so it's up almost $10 over the last 3 or 4 weeks, which is a big gain. Now, when you look at it over the last 3 months, it's flat versus where it was, but remember, remember, this is a new set, right? So this set is coming out and it's starting to drop in price like we normally see. But to see this card spike up, I don't know what's going on with it. I don't know if people are finally realizing that, hey, maybe this will be one of the big chase cards from Stellar Crown, or if there's a lot of people like me where the kids love Squirtle and they think this is a really cute card and this could be a great Christmas present, so people are trying to get ahead of the game. I love to roll into December with as much of my Christmas shopping done as possible, so I've been all over that, but we'll have to wait and see. I think this card could be the biggest card in Stellar Crown. We'll just have to wait and see. Again, that's a big, that's a big prediction. We'll see. But when I think about the cards that are at the very top right now, I certainly think this one has the opportunity to do so. So, hey, listen, bought it for 40 bucks. It's already up to 50. We'll see if it can hang on, but the artwork from this card is absolutely fire. And if you're a Squirtle fan, one of the best Squirtle artworks in recent memory, aside from that 151 card. Now, the next one we're going to look at here, this is a card that we have talked about a lot, and we talked about it quite a while ago, and we've talked about it more recently, and this is the Eevee and Snorlax Tag Team card. Now, this is from the Team Up set in the Sun and Moon era, and One of the things that we liked about this card is the Moonbryon has really made all of the Eevee and Eeveelution cards go absolutely nuts. Once that Moonbryon started to cross that $600, $700, $800 price point, we started to see kind of organically across the whole Pokemon space, we started to see a lot of cards with Eevee on it or any of the Eeveelutions start to gain in value. There's tons of examples of it like that out there. And one of the things that we really liked about this card is it's from the Tag Team set. And if you go back 7 or 8 months ago, I mean, this was a $24 card. And we may never see another set like Team Up again. Now, the thing that makes it super unique is it was really short printed. And one of the things that I can say is I don't think the Pokemon Company is short printing anything anymore. Now, they might print some sets a little bit less than some other sets, but I don't think short printed is in their vocabulary. I think they are printing tons and tons and tons of copies of the cards now. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do a video coming up soon on the single card market right now. And one of the things we're going to look at is the number of cards that Pokemon Company has been producing as of late. So one of the things that we loved about this card, again, it was from the best set from the Sun and Moon era, one of the rarest sets in recent memory. It's got beautiful artwork. It has 2 wildly popular Pokemon on here, an Eevee and Snorlax, and it had a jumping off point of $24. And you can see it had this big spike back in May. But what's interesting to me is you see that big spike. Remember, those light blue bars, those represent volume, the number of sales that happened during that particular period of time. And what you can see is that could have been a buyout, but look at what happened after the buyout. After the buyout, it tried to give back some gains, and then it has been more organically growing in price over time. You see that those light blue bars get lower, and that's really what I want to see when I'm looking for a card that can hold on to value over the long run. So listen, a big spike in volume one day, which drove the price up, came back down a little bit, but as you can see, the market has been supporting this card at $34. Again, awesome pair of Pokemon on here from the best set from the Sun and Moon era. Really hard to go wrong with this, especially with Prismatic Evolutions coming out relatively soon, where all the Eeveelutions are going to be highly sought after. And I don't know, I just think there's still even more room to run in this, even though it's up almost 50% over the last year. Now, next card right here. Investing isn't easy, right? It's very hard. Like, you're going to be wrong, you're going to be right, you're going to have opportunities, but I feel like this card was really shooting fish in a barrel, okay? We know that the specialty sets, the Pokemon Center exclusive ETBs are going to be really, really sought after. We know Paldean Fates, the Pokemon Center exclusive ETB, sold out immediately. It has not come back in stock. We've been watching that Charizard, we've been watching the Bubble Mew do really, really well. And this Pokemon Center stamped Mimikyu card, we've been saying for a long time, listen, at $10, this is an absolute steal. This card is going to pop off. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And we've seen that happen. Ever since September, this card has started to really get hot, right? We're starting to see the Charizard finally break well above that $100 mark. That Bubble Mew is up near $200. And so I think that these sealed Pokemon Center exclusive ETBs are just going to be fantastic. And it wasn't long ago, I think it was 3 months ago, that you were able to buy these on the secondary market. Remember, because they were sold out at the Pokemon Center, you were able to buy them at $10 over MSRP. So again, really, really easy call on these types of cards. Now, the stamped promo market as a whole has been really hot. So what I'm interested is cards that are outside of these sealed boxes, because I think the sealed boxes are going to do well no matter what, and I think organically that's going to drive these ones in it as well. But we've seen a lot of stamped promos that you can get through various other means, and this is the Pikachu, this is the Pokemon Together card, and another one, another stamped promo that hasn't been out very long, but has just been going crazy. I mean, if you look at it, it is up almost 200% versus where it started, and I think the card is super cute. I mean, it just depends. Do you really want this card because of that Pokemon Together stamp down there? Because the artwork, it's not a special illustration rare, it's not an EX, right? It doesn't have any cool foiling or patterns or you know, anything special about it. So really, you're just buying this card because it's a little bit unique. It's got the stamp on it. It's a little bit rarer, right? Because it doesn't come from packs or boxes or anything like that. So we'll just have to see. But again, remember, we have seen stamped promo cards go absolutely bonkers as of late. So this card is no different, getting near the $50 mark when it started off at right around $15. Just crazy to see how these cards have been able to run, and obviously if it's on this list, a ton of people have been buying it as of late. Now, the final card, we obviously have to talk about it, and this is the Pikachu EX from Surging Sparks, and the graph down there, this card was on the list last week too, back-to-back weeks on the movers and shakers list from TCG Player, and as I said, this was the price point last week, and when we did the video, I was talking and I was like, listen, none of you are buying this over $500, right? Like, you all are buttoned up investors and collectors, and you all understand the pattern. You know it's going to start high. You know it's going to come back down. So we talked about that. We said, listen, the card's beautiful. You know, the Surging Sparks is a great set. Everybody loves Pikachu. But none of us on this channel were buying this at $523 because it will eventually come back down. Now, it has come back down. This is the brand new price graph as of this morning. But it hasn't come down quite as much as I anticipated. So it's still holding in the $450 range. Now, if you look at how the price is trending, it's still trending down, but it is starting to flatten out a little bit. So people who are buying cards in the market as a whole, for whatever reason, these cards start to find support in these round numbers. So I don't know if it's going to find support at $450. If it breaks the $450 mark, if it goes below that, I don't know if it's going to drop to $420, $425, maybe $400. I don't see it getting down to $400 right now, even though I believe it should. I think it should actually fall below that. Again, I got a video coming out tomorrow. We're going to talk about singles cards, and I think we're going to talk about a lot of really cool facts and truths going on in the singles card market. But this is where it is, right? So it's down about $70 versus where it was last week, which is totally natural. It's what it should be doing. Still way up from where it was pre-order. Like pre-order, this was a $300 card. Card came out, spiked through the roof, starting to work its way back down now. And as a huge Pikachu fan, which I am, obviously the channel is called PikiPikaPapa. You know, I'm excited to possibly get my hands on this. I will never overspend. Do I want it? Absolutely. Would I love to buy it? Sure. You know, could I spend $450 on it? I could stretch and do it. It would eat up a big chunk of my Pokemon budget for the month, but I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to sit on the sidelines, eat my popcorn, kind of watch it, see what happens, and go from there. And if it becomes, you know, at a point where I can absolutely feel comfortable with buying it, because I do think in the long run this card's going to do really well, then I'll do that. But I'm certainly not there right now. So that's it. That is the movers and shakers list for this week. I am so happy to be able to share it with you. I hope you all are ending a fantastic weekend. We got Thanksgiving coming up, all kinds of cool stuff going on. So hey, listen, if you made it to the end of the video and you found value in it, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. If you like what you see, give us a thumbs up. And if you got questions or comments, drop them down below. I appreciate you more than I can say. I hope you have an epic one, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, everybody. Bye.